Chapter 506, Heir of Kunlun Field. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. For the past 2 weeks, all the warriors from Chaotic Millionverse Mountain had talked about was Huang Shenyi. He was first on the heaven board and was challenging Huang Yanjun. When the news came out, everyone was very curious. Who was Huang Yanjun? Why had Huang Shenyi written her a letter of challenge? Many masters on the heaven board had come to Chaotic Millionverse Mountain to watch the battle. It was certainly not for Huang Yanjun, even though news of her beauty had spread among the younger generations. The person they really were interested in was Huang Shenyi. No one knew how many geniuses and talents had been born in Kunlun's field. Only General Huang Shenyi had accumulated more than 10 million military merits. If things continued, he would be able to accumulate 30 million military merits and reach the ultimate realm of the heaven realm. Who didn't want to beat such a person? The top 10 masters on the heaven board wanted to see Huang Shenyi's true strength. If they could defeat him, they would get more than 10 million military merits. They would then have the opportunity to enter the ultimate realm of the heaven realm. Below the stone tablets of the heaven board was the Colosseum of the Martial Market. It had been opened by their Martial Market Bank and was dedicated to serving warriors of the primitive world. If they won several consecutive battles in the Colosseum of the Martial Market, they would get a huge of spiritual crystals. Of course, the longer their winning streak was, the higher the reward would be. The Colosseum of the Martial Market was not too large, it could only hold 3,000 spectators. 10 days ago, all the tickets had sold out. The most valuable tickets even sold at the sky-high price of 50,000 spiritual crystals, but someone still rushed to buy them. Today was the last day of the battle between Huang Shenyi and Huang Yanjun. The 3,000 seats in the Colosseum were already filled. Huang Yanjun is not even ranked in the Eastern Region Saint Academy. Why is Huang Shenyi lowering himself and challenging her? A young man wearing a blue jacket asked coldly. It was Xun Long. He was ranked 7th on the heaven board and was the absolute superiority of Confucianism in the central region. His cultivation was unfathomable. Zhuang Xingxian smiled. Brother Xun, you may not be aware. Although Huang Yanjun cannot be regarded as a master, her fiancé is an unbeatable figure. It is said that he is the Buddha Emperor's descendant. In my opinion, the man Huang Shenyi really wants to deal with is him. Oh, really? Xun Long was slightly surprised. He said, I have been secluding myself for refining Saint's fire for the past 3 years. I have never even heard of the Buddha Emperor's descendant. This time, it was Zhuang Xingxian's turn to be shocked. Have you really ignited Saint's fire? Xun Long smiled. I ignited Saint's fire 3 years ago. After 3 years of refining, the holy gas has filled my body. Saint's fire has spread all throughout my meridians. The practice of Confucian sect was different from that of warriors. They paid more attention to the practice of spiritual power. At the same time, they had to ignite Saint's fire in their bodies. This was regarded as surpassing mortals and entering into the fish-dragon realm. Xun Long was quite invincible. He had ignited Saint's fire but still suppressed his realm at the completion of the heaven realm. After 3 years of refinement, his strength had gone a step further. He had practiced Saint's fire to the realm of fire refining meridian. Even for a monk in the fish-dragon realm, it was not an easy task to reach that realm. Zhuang Xingxian sighed. Brother Xun, for the sake of Huang Shenyi, release yourself from refining. Xun Long was quite proud of himself. He smiled faintly. Huang Shenyi is indeed a genius, the likes of which we have not seen for 100 years. Unfortunately for him, he met me at a bad time. Defeating him 3 years ago was not difficult. After 3 years, I have only one goal: to reach the ultimate realm of the heaven realm. Xun Long's gaze was fixed on Zhuang Xingxian. Don't be so hard on yourself. 7 years ago, you were already the 6th person on the heaven board. For the past 7 years, you have been experiencing life overseas and fighting savage beasts in the sea area. Is there any improvement in your strength? Zhuang Xingxian nodded his head and smiled. There are indeed some improvements. Xun Long said, I remembered 7 years ago, you practiced life-death seal to the realm of hairbreadth escape on the 5th floor. Now you have reached the 6th level, the realm of destined death, right? When Zhuang Xingxian's expression lifted, there was a glimpse of pride in his eyes. No, it is the 7th level. no distinction between life and death. The smile on Xunlong's face suddenly disappeared. You are too ambitious. You want to use Huang Sheni as a stepping stone to reach the ultimate realm of the heaven realm. We're both in the same boat. Zhuang Xingqian smiled. I also had an adventure, otherwise it would have been impossible to break through to the 7th level. Xunlong said, Huang Yanqian and the Buddha Emperor's descendant are too young. They are certainly no match for Huang Sheni. So, today it may be just you and I that can defeat Huang Sheni. Brother Zhuang, do you want to go first? Zhuang Xingqian shook his head and laughed. Let it be. I am very interested in the Buddha Emperor's descendant. Let him fight against Huang Sheni first. I will fight later. Xunlong snorted coldly. The Buddha Emperor's descendant has an unearned reputation. He does not dare to fight with Huang Sheni. You may be willing to wait. I don't want to wait any longer. He stood up and flew to the center of the heavenly ring. Beneath his feet, purple air was flowing. It was Confucian sect's awe-inspiring righteousness. Huang Sheni closed his eyes and stood in the center of the heavenly ring. He felt a sense of awe-inspiring righteousness. He opened his eyes slowly and looked around. At this moment, Xunlong appeared and stood opposite him. Huang Sheni, you do not have to wait. Xunlong said, I see that the Buddha Emperor's descendant is afraid to come to the Colosseum. I will fight with you. Huang Sheni stared at him carefully. Xunlong, 7th on the heaven board. Yes, it is me. Xunlong was full of air. There was an uproar. No one had expected that the first man to fight with Huang Sheni would be Xunlong, a man of equal prestige. He is a genius from the aristocratic family of Saint Xun. He is said to have ignited Saint's fire 3 years ago. Has he still not broken through to Fish Dragon Realm? He is only a disciple. Don't take it too seriously. What do you know? Xunlong has indeed ignited Saint's fire. He could be deliberately suppressing the realm, trying to reach the ultimate realm of the heaven realm. 3 years ago, his cultivation was so scary. I wonder what he is like now? This was worth it. We can see a confrontation between Huang Sheni and Xunlong. This ticket was worth every penny. Originally, the spectators had felt that Huang Yanjin and Zhang Yuochen were too weak. If they fought with Huang Sheni, they would likely be killed in one move. There would be nothing to see. However, the appearance of Xunlong made everyone excited. The heaven board's 676-meter-high stone tablet was like a giant rectangular stone mountain on the side of the Colosseum. Standing on top of it, you could clearly see the fighting inside. Of course, the heaven board was very sacred. If someone dared to climb the stone tablet, even if they were a half-saint, they would be killed by the vessel spirit of the heaven board. However, 2 people stood at the top. One was an elder, and the other was a young woman wearing a veil. The elder wore a purple robe and his head was full of white hair, giving a sage-like demeanor. If Zhang Yuochen was here, he would be able to recognize him. It was the vessel spirit of the heaven board. The woman sitting on the opposite side of the vessel spirit of heaven board was covered in a faint haze. One could only vaguely see her perfect and flawless figure, and that she possessed snow-white skin like jade. She was full of mysterious beauty. Permitted to sit opposite the vessel spirit, she was not an ordinary person. She was a very mysterious person in the eastern region. Even in the entire Kunlun's field, the Saint Lady. The only thing that the world knew about her was that she wrote the Eastern Region Report. She held a book in one hand and a pen in the other. Her voice was soft and beautiful. In a leisurely manner, she said, 10 days ago, the Empress gave a secret order and asked me to give her a list of heirs. The list is a matter of great importance and relates to the future of Kunlun's field. I did not dare make a quick uninformed judgment, so I came to ask the predecessors of the heaven board. The vessel spirit's expression changed. Empress cultivation is omnipotent. Reach the sky and peace the earth, and life is long. It's possible she could live another 1,000 years. How can she suddenly think about picking an heir for Kunlun Field? Is she trying to abdicate? The so-called heir of Kunlun Field was the son of Kunlun's Field. He would succeed the emperor in the future and became the master of Kunlun's Field. The Saint Lady shook her head. The Empress' heart is not something that we can see. According to her, we need to pick out 9 heirs from Kunlun Field to start with, and each one must be a genius. Predecessor, Do you think Huang Sheni is qualified to be the first candidate for Heir of Kunlun field? The vessel spirit smiled. Young lady, you are already a psychic sage. Your ability of seeing and knowing people is already above mine. Do you really need to ask me for a small thing like this? Saint Lady replied, Huang Sheni's current strength has certainly reached the ultimate realm of the heaven realm. However, in this era, geniuses are coming out in large numbers, and the dragons and fish are jumbled together. It is difficult to determine. The vessel spirit said, I can only tell you this. Huang Sheni reached the ultimate realm of the yellow realm. If he has also reached ultimate realm of the heaven realm, he has reached the ultimate realm twice. He could have great potential. I see. Her beautiful eyes brightened slightly. The pen in her hand moved gently as she wrote the name Huang Sheni on the scroll. Of course, this did not mean that Huang Sheni was already a candidate for Heir of Kunlun field, just that his name had been temporarily written. The Saint Lady also had to personally meet him to determine whether he was suitable as a potential candidate.